Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're looking at Soma here in the top right of Eclipse and sSak in the bottom left. My apologies that there's been a lot of Soma ZVTs on Eclipse and ZVTs on Eclipse in general. It just seems like this is one of the less vetoed maps, I guess. But I am very interested in how this map is changing understanding in Zerg vs. Terran. And this has been, and just in general in a lot of ways, Eclipse is really the map that mapped out offensive gas type strategies. And we went through this huge arc in Protoss vs. Terran where the metagame for what you did, whether it was one proxy gate or two, timing of the gas, how Terran countered that, all those things, those all got mapped out over time on Eclipse. By the way, there is a forward 8 racks here. This 8 racks, by the way, will kill this Overlord, and you're putting it here because not only will you kill the Overlord, but if you put it here and they drone scout, it's very annoying. Okay, anyways, back to what I was saying. It mapped out a lot of things in that regard. Also in Zerg vs. Terran, back when Eclipse was still a newer map, it was like our only map that was really being utilized where there wasn't a kind of obvious fourth base for Zerg. So what we saw was players, specifically I remember Hero kind of leading the way on this charge where he would take the third base. So if we just do this real quick, he would take the third base here and he'd add macro hatches here and then get a big army to push out. And this was back when we thought this map might be Terran favored. Because it's like, oh, they have to kind of play different and get a big army and then kind of push out and then try to secure a fourth base. And now it's gone the whole way to, that thing I've been describing a lot lately about how you basically can't attack Zerg here. They're kind of invincible here. And it's actually become very difficult for Terran versus Zerg. So it went from a map where we thought that it was difficult for Zerg versus Terran, and now we think it's difficult for Terran versus Zerg. And just watching the understandings evolve, it's so shocking in a game that doesn't get patches that we have this much of a difference. It's been played for this long and we're still just discovering and refining, and it's just completely different than it was before. It's wild, man. Anyways, he kills that Overlord, which is super annoying. 12 of 9 supply, as you can see. Has to get this egg out and be able to, somehow defend this hatchery, but at the same time, there's a factory being made for sSak. sSak, the king of these kind of aggressive technical builds. Really, really strong in these ways. I guess Royal is a cross between sSak and Light, isn't he? That's interesting. All right, starts a bunker. Already some lings on the way. He's going to need a sunken is one of the main things. I think he'll make it up here. Okay, he's got a fair amount of lings, and he gets the SCV. That's the most important thing. I'm surprised he hasn't started a creep colony, because you have to look at that barracks and think that there's likely going to be a Vulture on the way, and that's going to be a real pain in the butt. Okay, the bunker gets canceled, and he does attack him with the lings, so he will be able to clear this finally. So a good clear here from Soma. He has his lair on the way very quickly, and there's the creep colony. He's going to keep most of his Zerglings back, and he doesn't have any Overlords here. So, any drones here, sorry. So, like this, it seems to me, he's looking right here for incoming flying units. That's why that's spread like that. I was going to say, maybe he's holding them here to make sure that the sunken finishes before the Vulture can get up, but it looks like that'll be the case anyways. Looks like he has good timing. So, Machine Shop as well as Starport. This looks likely to be a Vulture drop, but does not necessarily have to be. He can get Vulture speed or mines here, and he can get Wraith or add-on here. He'll probably go Wraith regardless, but sometimes you rush directly to the dropship to make sure they get in before the mutas. If you go Wraith, obviously you can kill a bunch of Overlords and kind of clear the path for the dropship, but then it's a little bit more difficult to get the dropship in because the mutas will be out before it's there. So you have to do some crazy, like, Noel-esque moves where you're kind of like leaving it at a funny location waiting for the mutas to counterattack you. So, Vulture's coming out. Speed. There's the dropship. Might get some buildings clogging up here. Yeah, there's the hatchery. This is a very normal thing. He's just making it harder for vultures to try to like run by or something. You know, if you make enough vultures, obviously you can still make it by. 3 would not make it by here well. 4, if you targeted perfectly, you could definitely get 2 over here. But you'd have to really micro like a god. And it could go real wrong. All right, the Spire is still coming. And you can see how tight this timing is on the dropship. Dropship just flying forward. Vulture's coming with it. Keeping 1 Vulture in the front. All right, this has very much potential. So he's going up to Science Facility for irradiates. He's going to Engineer Bay for those missile turrets. Gets his Science Vessel started right away. Very good build here from sSak. Very good build. Now he's going to drop. The Overlord's going to see it on its way in. And the drones run immediately, but he's definitely going to lose some. The Ling's actually just kind of covering a little bit. Yeah, let's see how many he can end up getting. The drones have to turn to fight. He actually ends up getting quite a few. Brings Soma down to just 15 workers. So Muta's going to be flying across the map. Oh, the missile turrets are like not ready yet. He was over microing, I think, there a little bit. He is going to drop another Vulture. And I'm sure he's hoping this will make the Mutas turn around. But realistically, you need those turrets being built while the Vultures are being cleaned, not after they're dead. So this is a little bit scary. There's definitely an area up here that's not defended. Yeah, this is brutal. I wonder if diving on that turret's correct. I feel like it might be. It's a little bit hard to kill the turret while being repaired, but... yeah, sSak going to be able to turret push his way over a little bit. Another Vulture drop coming up. 23 drones right now for Soma, so not looking too bad. Oops. So, yeah, he's just not quite getting the kills that he wants. A lot of Mutas are out, but with Science Vessels out and Irradiate on the way, definitely doesn't feel like something that's going to work out well for him. I do like that he's still making some Vultures. You definitely need to do that. If a group of Lings came up, he would just die without Vultures on the way. But Speed Vultures, of course, can hold like 1 million Zerglings off if you have the room to micro and the time. So we're going to send another one up. He does have a couple now on the map. Dropship almost gets picked. Okay, he will go ahead and follow that and finally finish that off. With 2 more barracks on the way, this looks like a pretty dedicated 1 base build. No academy yet. He will have to add that pretty much immediately, though. This looks like the type of timing where you're not going to have range. Like you'll be making range as you move across the map. Wow, really getting some good damage here. Damn, Speed Vultures are all right. Runs right past that Sunken, takes some damage, but gets quite a few drones. The thing is, the drone count is still like... Soma, well, the thing is, Soma is mostly spending all of his money on making drones, and he's got 3 hatches, so he is able to refill that count. But during this time, don't forget, sSak is building up an army. So when you're building just drones, it does make it a little bit hard, especially when you're not like exploding your drone count. You're just replacing your drones. You're at replacement levels. Scourge going in for a scout. Don't forget, Scourge have very small vision. Worst vision in the game. See how little you can scout with that thing? They're just so cheap. If they had good vision, it would be bad. Zerglings have bad vision, too. These little cheap things, like, I'm glad that they had the foresight not to give them, like, a ridiculous thing. Otherwise, you just see Scourge fly through bases all game for their cheap cost. What a great way to scout that would be. You actually have to kind of micro it and be careful. Wow. A couple of Speed Vultures run by once again, right past that Sunken Colony. At this point, it would really be worth it to just put 2 Lings on the ramp. That would actually screw up this whole thing so badly. Definitely feels like Soma has expected this to stop several times, and it simply has not. Okay, so we have 4 vessels right now. Stim on the way. Obviously, that means range is not going to be ready anytime soon. Range is a pretty long upgrade. If I'm recalling correctly, 63 seconds on range. Or was it 105? I don't know why I'm having that number in my head right now. Anyways, whatever. It's a lot longer than Stim. Stim's only 50 seconds. Okay, so this is so many irradiates and defense matrices. I don't think you can hold this. Look at this. He's irradiate Scourge. Why not? Honestly, I would defense matrix. Yeah, one Marine. I guess he does 3. Damn. All right. Run in there and then just irradiate Mutalisk as you can. Okay, the irradiated Muta tries to go over the army a little bit. That was a great surround. And he gets 2. I actually thought that was going to be fine for him. Soma crushes that. He crushes that. sSak is going to be kicking himself. Because if you wait, if you make like 7, 8 more Marines there. Like, here's the thing. I thought so. I have vision of everything. And I was like, this should do fine. This looks deadly. And he definitely thought so too. And he went and it just totally didn't work out. But if he actually had about 7, 8 more Marines, he kills him there. It wasn't so one-sided that a few more Marines don't change it. So a little bit unfortunate for sSak, and losing the 2 vessels is probably the most painful part. And now with 3 bases up for Soma, even though a lot of drone damage has been done, this is a game where he is definitely going to be starting to run away with it a bit. No additional upgrade after that +1 attack. Soma should be able to stabilize everything with lurkers. And as he stabilizes with lurkers, it's like, well, yeah, you can use your radiates, but unfortunately you lost 2 vessels already with very little effect. Like, the D-matrices didn't do much. He didn't hit many irradiates. The Mutalisk count got reduced, but this is not nothing. This is still a decent amount. This can help out in a lot of ways. All right, trying to catch these vultures a little bit. Well, at least he's getting some scouting done. Sees that there is that transition coming up. Siege tanks being made. Is there a siege tank timing attack that can occur here? Well, he went tank Vulture. This is not a very big army. It feels like Soma can just out-macro the army and just have enough units, even though technically this is like a strong force. Science vessels, siege tanks, marine medics, stim +1. Range, all that stuff. Oh! Yeah, I don't want to be losing any more of those. You know, maybe if he can, like, hit a few irradiates here, grind down these lurkers, kill this base. Yeah, I could see that turning into a sSak victory. Doesn't seem super likely, though. Oh, my God. Really good volley there. sSak a little bit slow on pulling back. All right, this attack coming in here from Soma, look at this sandwich. Just brings a lot of lings up to, oh my God, the lurkers kill the siege tank. And the counterattack down here with mutas. GG is called. That's crazy. I actually want to just jump back real quick and look at the little attack of the natural, because I really didn't think it was going to be like that. So here's leading up to it. Okay, we'll pause it and take a look at everything right before it goes down. All right, let's look at this position. Okay, he used 1 irradiate on Scourge. He has 4 vessels. So this has enough for irradiate and D-matrix. This is enough for either. This one has enough for irradiate. This one has enough for either. So 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 5 spells he can cast. He's got literally only 12 Marines. They do not have +1 here. +1 is almost done. Range is not done. So these are not high quality units. Sunken, fair amount of lings, no upgrades. How many mutas? 12 mutas total. 12 lings total, and a sunken, and some Scourge. Against 12 Marines, and a couple more coming up, and he has like D-Matrix. Okay, let's watch this. Let's just watch how this goes. The triple D-Matrix kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't think he'd go 3. Maybe he should have put 1 on the back for the flanking lings, because this is actually, I think, what did a lot of damage as well. But honestly, here is the actual truth of it. 12 mutas versus 12 Marines. The mutas crush. This is something you have to keep in mind. Even though Marines and medics, like a lot of times you see them beating mutas, it's not in these types of situations. Like the 12 mutas alone can kill this if you're not nailing irradiates and making sure irradiated mutas aren't over your army. So actually just the Marine count was just too low. Dude, he just crushed it. It wasn't even close. Jesus. Not a good attack from sSak. I'm actually surprised even I thought that was going to be okay. It's just he had so much Vessel energy so early into the game. It felt amazing, but wow. Okay, anyways. Thanks for watching, guys. GG. See you next time.